Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, I want to chat with you about a book that really shifted my perspective on why we sometimes get stuck in the same negative patterns, even when we desperately want to change. It's called Reinventing Your Life, the Breakthrough Program to End Negative Behavior. And Feel Great Again by Jeffrey E. Young and Janet S. Klosko. And trust me, it's not just another self-help book. It really digs deep into the roots of our long-standing struggles. When I first picked this up, I was intrigued by the idea of reinventing yourself. Right? We all have those moments where we wish we could just hit a reset button. But what makes this book stand out is its core concept, life traps. The authors, Jeffrey Young and Janet Klosko, explain that life traps are these deep self-destructive patterns that start way back in our childhood. They're like old programs running in the background of your mind, constantly shaping how you think, feel, and act, especially in relationships and at work. Think about it. Have you ever felt like you're constantly drawn to the same type of person who hurts you? Or that you keep sabotaging your own success even when you're so close to achieving it? That's probably a life trap at play. The book delves into 11 common life traps, and they cover a wide range of issues like feeling abandoned, struggling with mistrust, feeling inadequate, or always putting others' needs before your own. What's fascinating is how the book brings these concepts to life with incredibly relatable stories of people they've worked with. For instance, there's Jed, a super successful stockbroker who just can't connect with women, always finding a flaw in them right when they start falling for him. He's stuck in the emotional deprivation life trap. Or Heather, who's crippled by fears and barely leaves her house, caught in the vulnerability life trap. These aren't just abstract ideas, they're real people with real struggles, which makes the book feel so much more personal and impactful. Now you might be wondering, why do we keep repeating these painful patterns? It's the irony of repetition. As the authors put it, they call it the repetition compulsion, a term from psychoanalytic psychotherapy. Essentially, even though these patterns cause us pain, they're familiar and predictable, offering a strange sense of comfort, almost like home. To give them up feels like losing a part of who we are, even if that part is hurting us. It's wild, right? We literally recreate conditions from our childhood that were harmful to us. The book also introduces 3 main coping styles we use to deal with these life traps: surrender, escape, and counterattack. Imagine 3 different people, all dealing with the defectiveness life trap, that deep feeling of being flawed and unlovable. Alex, for example, surrenders to it. He walks around with his head down, apologizes constantly, and chooses critical partners, almost proving his own belief that he's defective. Then there's Brennan, who escapes his feelings of defectiveness. He avoids close relationships, drinks heavily, and tries to numb himself so he doesn't have to confront that pain. And finally, Max counterattacks. He acts superior, snobby, and blames everyone else, trying to convince himself and others that he's perfect, precisely to avoid feeling that deep-seated worthlessness. It's a mask, a fragile persona, and it keeps him from real intimacy. The authors emphasize that most of us are a mix of these styles, so if these life traps are so deeply ingrained, how do we actually change them? The book lays out a comprehensive step-by-step program, and it emphasizes that change requires willingness to experience pain and a lot of discipline. It's not a quick fix. The first step is to label and identify your life traps. The book even provides a questionnaire in Chapter 2 to help you figure out which ones apply to you. Just having a name for it, like abandonment or dependence, can bring a lot of clarity. For instance, Danielle, a patient in the book, realized her core problem was the abandonment life trap, which explained why she stayed in an 11-year relationship with a man who wouldn't commit. The second step is to understand their childhood origins and feel the wounded child inside you. This might sound a bit touchy-feely, but it's crucial. You need to remember the experiences that created these patterns, whether it was abuse, neglect, overprotection, or excessive criticism. The book encourages imagery exercises, like closing your eyes and reliving those painful childhood memories, and even dialoguing with your inner child to offer comfort and guidance. It's about reconnecting with that hurt part of yourself so it can begin to heal. Next, you build a case against your life trap. This is where you challenge its validity intellectually. You list all the evidence for the life trap where you believe it's true and all the evidence against it. Often you'll find that the evidence supporting your life trap was just brainwashing from childhood and that it's no longer true. Danielle, for example, had to acknowledge that her cleaning behavior actually drove people away and that she had plenty of people in her life who didn't abandon her. Then you create a flashcard summarizing the case against your life trap and read it daily. This is a really practical tool to chip away at those ingrained beliefs. The book also suggests writing letters to the people who hurt you in childhood to vent anger and sadness. You don't have to send them, but expressing those strangled feelings is part of the healing process. The fifth step is to examine your life trap pattern in careful detail. How does it manifest in your daily life? How do you surrender to it, escape from it, or counterattack it? You make lists of these self-defeating habits. Then comes pattern breaking, which is about actively changing those behaviors, starting with manageable steps. Danielle, with her abandonment life trap, worked on stopping her cleaning behaviors and choosing more stable friends. It's about taking action, even small ones, to disrupt the old ways. And most importantly, keep trying. Life traps are long-term patterns, and change is a slow, persistent process. The authors are very honest about the obstacles to change. You might find yourself still blaming others, counterattacking, avoiding the pain, escaping, or intellectually knowing the life trap is false but still feeling it's true emotionally. They offer solutions for each obstacle, stressing patience, continued self-confrontation, and allowing yourself to feel the discomfort of change. A huge takeaway from this book is the idea of empathic self-confrontation. It means showing compassion for yourself, recognizing how these life traps form due to childhood experiences and inherited temperament, while simultaneously pushing yourself to take responsibility for changing. It's about being honest with yourself, facing reality, and gradually, systematically chipping away at those patterns. The book stresses that we all have a healthy self that wants to be happy and fulfilled, and the process of change is about reawakening that part. It's not just about eliminating life traps, but about creating a personal vision for your life. What kind of relationships, autonomy, self-esteem, self-expression, and concern for others truly make you happy? Finally, the authors strongly advocate for seeking support from others. While the book is a powerful self-help tool for many, especially those with severe issues like a history of abuse or intense anxiety, depression, professional therapy or support groups are crucial. They talk about limited parenting in therapy, where a therapist can provide the nurturing, validation, or protection you might have lacked as a child. They even offer advice on selecting a therapist who is warm, empathic, sets limits, and integrates different approaches, rather than one who might reinforce your life traps. So what's the big message? It's that your past doesn't have to define your future. You can break free from these old, self-defeating patterns. It won't be easy, and it requires courage and persistence, but it's absolutely possible. Reinventing your life gives you a comprehensive framework, practical tools, and a compassionate yet firm guide to help you on that journey. If you've ever felt stuck in a loop, or like you just can't seem to get out of your own way, this book could be the breakthrough you've been looking for. It offers not just understanding, but real solutions for transforming your life. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope this gave you a good overview of this incredibly insightful book.